Bagging and boosting are two powerful ensemble techniques used to improve the performance of machine learning models. Both methods involve combining two weak learners to create a stronger, more accurate model. In this presentation, we'll explore the differences and similarities between bagging and boosting. Bagging stands for bootstrap aggregating. It involves creating multiple subsets of the training data through random sampling with replacement. Each subset is used to train a separate base model, such as decision trees. The final prediction is obtained by aggregating the predictions of all the base models, typically through majority voting or averaging. The goal of bagging is to reduce variance and improve generalization by averaging over multiple models. Boosting is an iterative process that focuses on sequentially improving the performance of a model. It starts by training a weak learner on the entire training data. The subsequent models are trained by giving more weight to the misclassified instances from previous models. The final prediction is then made by combining the predictions of all the models, typically through weighted majority voting. The goal of boosting is to reduce bias and improve accuracy by emphasizing difficult to classify instances. Next, we'll go through an example of implementing the bagging algorithm. So we're going to load in a data frame of diabetes data with features on patient information such as pregnancies, glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness, insulin, their BMI, and a diabetes pedigree function, so whether they're predisposed to diabetes and their age. And the outcome 1 or 0 on whether they have diabetes, so this is a classification problem. Next, we'll set our X and Y, so our feature data set and our target data set here. Next, we'll scale our data to a standard size across the features. And then we'll create a train test split using the SK train test split function. As we can see, we have a roughly 80% split. So we'll create our standalone model. This is a decision tree, and we'll calculate a cross-validation score for the model. So this is going to feed in the feature dataset and predict out whether there is diabetes. And this is a single decision tree classifier. So this is our base model. And then we want to implement the bagging algorithm. This is easily done with the sklearn package with bagging classifier. What this does is wraps around the base estimator model, so our single decision tree, and implements that bagging algorithm that we discussed previously. And what we can see is that the score has increased from 0.71 to 0.76, so we've actually increased the accuracy by just implementing the bagging algorithm. And if we actually look at the testing validation set, we can see actually the algorithm has performed quite well, increasing it to 77%. So one example of bagging in real world algorithms or models is the random forest. So random forest is an extension of decision trees that implements that bagging within that decision tree model framework. So it actually executes that bagging algorithm already. So if we run that from the sklearn package, we can see that we get comparable accuracies just by running that one model code itself. So we don't need to create our single decision tree and the bagging algorithm separately. Next, if we look at an example of boosting, this is simply run. One example of this is the XGBoost package. So that implements that boosting algorithm and the model creation all in one kind of function, XGB classifier. So this will perform a boosted regression or boosted classification model on our diabetes data set. So if we run that, we can see that we get an accuracy of 0.75, which again is comparable to our bagged algorithm example above. Both bagging and boosting are ensemble learning methods. They create multiple models to combine their predictions for a final decision. Both techniques aim to improve the performance of weak learners, and they can be applied to various types of base models such as decision trees, neural networks, or support vector machines. Now we'll go through some of the differences between the two methods. Boosting has sequential sampling with varying weights to focus on misclassified instances, whereas bagging has random sampling with replacement to create subsets. In the weighting of the base models, boosting has weighted combination of the base models, giving more importance to better performing models, whereas bagging has equal weighting to all of the base models during aggregation. In error handling, boosting aims to reduce bias and underfitting, whereas bagging reduces variance and overfitting. Looking at the advantages of both models, in bagging we have an improved generalization and stability by reducing variance. It's suitable for models that are prone to overfitting, and it's robust to noisy data and outliers. Whereas with boosting, we have an enhanced accuracy by reducing the bias. It's effective in handling complex data sets and capturing subtle patterns, and can adapt well to different learning tasks. Now let's consider some of the limitations. With bagging, we have limited improvement for models with a low bias and high variance, and also we have an increased computational complexity due to training multiple models. However, boosting is susceptible to overfitting if the weak learners become too complex, and it can be sensitive to noisy and outlier data. In conclusion, bagging and boosting are powerful ensemble learning techniques that aim to improve model performance. Whilst bagging reduces variance and improves stability, boosting reduces bias and enhances accuracy. The choice between the two depends on the characteristics of the dataset and the trade-off between bias and variance. Understanding the similarities and differences between bagging and boosting can help in selecting the appropriate technique for a given problem. Thanks for listening, and I hope you found this useful.